Good morning, you guys. If you're not watching this in the morning, good evening, good afternoon. I woke up with this crazy notion that I wanted to get this Magna running today. And I don't think that it's going to be that out of the realm, because I'm pretty close to getting everything back together. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know that I like to get everything back to factory, or at least the proper parts installed and all that jazz. So I feel like I should buy some new air funnels. I talked to a guy, he said his bike runs fine without them, and all they really do is equalize the air coming into the air box and collect it so that it's uniform going into all the ports going into the carbs. Well, I have them, and I'm not sure. Oh, where'd they go? Oh, they're up here in a box. I have them. Now here's my new, I got a new air box. So I did not have that when I got the bike. Didn't know it. So anyway, had to buy a new air box. And here's my funnels. So if you know anything about these funnels, I don't, because this is the first bike other than the CBR that I've worked on that has them. But they're supposed to have some tabs. Yeah, there we go. Supposed to have some tabs on there that, see, there's one tab that's bent in, but they're supposed to sit in here somehow. And I guess the tabs sit in these grooves, and then I guess this airbox bottom bolts down to the carburetors, and I guess that holds them in place. Well, most of mine are just getting thrown around. Most of mine are bent. They're missing the tabs, so I feel like I should buy new ones. Well, I really just want to get this bike running. And I could probably put gas to it right now and get it started. I'm gonna put these in there somehow, and I think I can maybe place them in there. Keeping them in there is the question. I don't know if they'll stay where they need to be with the vibrations and all, but it might work. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw this down. And if anybody knows, this is a washer, and it has nothing to do with anything else. It just, I guess it's just a washer that fits in there. I don't see any rhyme or reason. Like, that's just how it is. I don't know. I'm putting this together just by looking at diagrams, and I really don't know what I'm doing, but they don't seem to hold anything else in. So I have all but one screw here, so that should be enough to keep that in place. And then I'll stuff these in, and then put the airbox on, and hopefully I find all the lines that go everywhere, and we should be good to go. Before I do that, I'll put the screws in so this is secured. Then I think I have all the gas lines hooked up. Then I think I might put the tank on here. And it has some gas in it, but I'll put some more gas in it if I need to. I want to get this thing fired up, see what it sounds like. It'll probably not run perfect due to all the air loss here, but I'd like to get just a baseline, make sure she's running and not leaking fuel anywhere. So let's see what happens. Well, things are becoming much clearer, and I'm beginning to understand some of this setup here and why things are broken or missing and how this is done. So first things first, this is a washer, and it's going to help to keep these from vibrating, but it's also has a tab here to keep them in place. Now I would think these should be square so that this kind of locks down on it, but it's not, and that's fine. So just do that, because you don't want these coming loose and falling down in your carburetor. Okay, so these are little bolts, and I got a 3mm Allen key to tighten them down. So I'm just gonna push those all over, and hopefully they stay in place. As I said, I'm missing one. If anybody has one, send it my way, but I'm not too concerned. I did the outside ones, and I'm only missing the one on the inside here. The rest are torqued down a little bit, so we'll just press these in. Second thing I'm noticing, the air tubes, or velocity stacks, or air funnels. So These are kind of bent and busted, and they're aluminum. They break off really easy. They fit down in here pretty tight. So I'm just gonna go with what we have and hope that they stay where they are. Now I could always, I mean, that one's a little loose. Do you think they'll stay? I mean, I'm gonna be putting the airbox on top of this, so maybe they'll have nowhere to go. They might vibrate, it might not be good. But I could seal them in there a little bit maybe. But the thing I'm noticing is this plate, I believe, would sit down and lock them in place with the tabs that are supposed to be on there. So then they wouldn't go anywhere. So I grabbed the lower part of the airbox and realized it's not super easy to get this sucker in there and over those velocity stacks or air funnels with them in place. So, because it's very tight here with the frame. So if you're taking off the airbox, you're probably seeing those air funnels in the way, and you're probably going to try to pry them out of the way so you can get the airbox off, not realizing that they're stuck in here, and you're going to break these tabs, which is exactly what we have here. So that makes sense. I guess what you do is, if this is in place here, you could loosen the metal plate, loosen this with that part of the airbox in place, and then maybe you could get them out without breaking them. So I'm gonna do what I can to put them in here, and hopefully they're in there good enough that they stay, and assemble all the rest of this, get the airlines hooked up where they need to go, and we're running this thing today. It's gonna start. So yeah, so I'm gonna order new air tubes because I think that's the right thing to do. What's another $100? I can get them brand new. But for now, see if we can make it work. Okay guys, well, the good news is I'm seeing things clearer now. Also, here's the bottom of the airbox. So I have that down. There's 3 screws that are holding that onto the metal plate that attaches to the carburetors. If you were to do this correctly, you can open all this up, so your filter goes on top of this, and then the top of the airbox goes on top of that. You can have access to all these little screws. So if you don't want to break your air funnels, I had to tear all the tabs that were left off so that these things would fit in more securely. They're pretty good, but I doubt they're gonna stay with vibrations, but they're in there okay. I don't know. Like I said, I'll have to check on them later after it's ridden, and they're gonna vibrate. They're gonna not stay in there, and then they're gonna be falling around in the airbox. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, so you don't even have to take off the lower airbox. You can take out these screws, and then this plate is free, and then you can lift it up, and then these you could get out. But it's kind of a 2-step process. You don't know that if you're not familiar with the bike. So anyway, this is all secured down. These are all just sitting in there, a little bit tight. And then the air filter. If you've never seen a big Honda air filter, I was not expecting this whole housing, but that's what you get. So now this is gonna fit somehow, just like the other one, or the bottom of the airbox. This is gonna slide in on top of that, and I kind of hope that holds down the funnels a little bit. I don't think it will, but okay, so the air filter itself is in place now. That fits in a groove there. Okay, this is my ignition hanging here. That needs to be installed better once I get the side parts on. Oh, I haven't even installed my choke cable yet. Oh, that could be fun with all this being on top. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to it. So air filter's installed. Now I just need to drop the top onto that. How's that gonna get in there? Oh man. Okay, that's gonna slide in on top of that. All right, well, as I figure that out with two hands, on top of the air box is this air tube that sits, it basically slides into the air box from the rear to the front. Slide that in, and then this bracket has two little Phillips screws, and that goes on top of this and holds that in place so it doesn't slide back. I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, quick look here before I put the tank on and try to crank her. I'll put some gas in it too. Running out of parts. These are from what was here, and then I got new bolts with the airbox. That's probably that too. Not sure where that goes. There is a hose that I'm unaccounting for. I don't know where that goes. Other than that, I think I'm out of parts. So, note to self and to anyone else. Make sure you reinstall your choke cable before you put the airbox on, because it's way in the front in the center, which I thought I had good access to before I put the airbox on, but I forgot to hook it up. And I think my bolt stripped out in there. So I think what I have is okay. I mean, you got to go in from either side. And the bolt that holds the cable in there, I have it hand tight. Tried to crank it down a little bit. I might have to do a little bit more if it comes loose. But hopefully it's a Honda. We don't need choke anyway. Got the side airbox cover or brackets on. I can't really figure out how this air filter goes on there, but I'll figure that out at some point here. Airbox is all on. I got this tube on and bracketed down. Everything pretty much sits where it needs to be. I think this is a hose venting to the atmosphere, so I don't think that goes anywhere. And yeah, I'm out of parts. So I have my new battery in, and it's time to put some gas to this puppy and see if she'll fire. This is where the gas tank hooks on, and hopefully I'm not leaking any fuel anywhere and I didn't miss anything, and she's ready to start up. So I'm gonna go get the tank, which is sitting there, and hook it up and hope for the best. One more thing I thought I should mention as I was working here and noticed, I hope I don't need to be worried about this gangsta setup here. Looks like this might have been dropped on this side and did something to the radiator cap. I don't think there's supposed to be a screw in there, and it looks a little bit janky. So hopefully that's not leaking, or I'm gonna have to work on the cooling system. I might even have, I doubt my other radiators fit this, but they might. Anyway, I thought I should mention that before I throw the tank on. Here we go. Alright gang, this is the first time she's been this together. Who's taking bets as to whether she'll start right up? I'm going to use the choke because, well, it hasn't been started in ages. So we'll pop the choke on carefully because it's kind of not really great over there. And I only put half a gallon in, so we're going to put it to reserve. Well, so far no fuel's running out. There is a vacuum petcock on the other side, so hopefully that helps it out. But here we go. Let's see what happens. Turn the key down here. Key is on. Gosh, sunlight's so bright. Neutral light, oil light, side stand light. Here we go. Turn it to run and give it a start. What's that? Oh, she's running. She's she's running. Maybe she has too much choke. Maybe I don't need the choke on that much, but let's do it again. It's coming to life. She might be getting too much gas. Let's turn that off. See what happens. Remember, she hasn't been running I don't know how long. Something's not right. Okay. Uh-oh. We're dripping gasoline. Why are we dripping gasoline? Yep, that's a problem. The problem is, looks like it's from a carb bowl. Or I'm gonna have to investigate that. She's definitely wet on this side. Yeah, I'm gonna have to investigate that. Looks a little wet there. Interesting. Alright, well, she started to run, so that's a good sign, but she's not healthy. Something's going on. Alright, I'm gonna investigate the wetness, see what's going on. I guess that's it for today. Got her running, but she's not ready. This carb's dry. That carb looks a little wet too. So I can't imagine I have 3 float bowls leaking. Although, it looks like it is just the float bowl. So, that means the carbs have to come back out. Yes, sir. And that would not be fun. But I guess I should get gaskets for the float bowls and replace them. So that's where we're at today. Thanks for watching, guys. She started, so that's at least a good start. Have a great one. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.